All right, let's do some subtraction. Now, subtraction is slightly different, okay? So you're really going to have to pay attention to how to do this. I'm going to teach you a method that we need to kind of use throughout this chapter. It will help you, especially when we start solving longer equations. Eventually, you'll stop doing this process, maybe when you get to Algebra 1 or when you feel comfortable this year. So I know you know the answer to this, but let's talk about it in a couple of ways. So if I'm taking away more than I have, obviously you know I'm going to be in the negative, right? And 5, correct? Well, it's the same thing as adding the opposite. So watch. So sometimes you'll say to me, well, do I have to add the opposite? I'm going to leave it up to you, but then I'm going to tell you have to do it, especially when we get into solving long equations. So this problem can be changed to be add opposite, just like that, 2 marks. And when I do and teach it to you in your lesson, you should use a different color so that you can get used to seeing it, okay? Once you do that, it's the same problem. It's just you get familiar with addition and you tend to like it more. So you look at this and you go, oh, opposite directions. Okay, so I subtract and I look at it. I went further to the left, so it's -5. So it's the same problem. So -10 minus 8, try to do that. This is usually where I can prove my point. So -10 minus 8. A lot of you will say it's -2, but that's not the answer. The answer to this problem is -18. Because it says, go to the left 10, now take away 8 more. So you're ending up at -18. So sometimes that's hard to see, and it's just a whole lot easier to change it to add opposite. 2 marks. Add opposite, just like that. So you know you go left 10, go left 8 more, you're at -18 in the end. Same problem. I didn't change the problem, I changed the look of it, but it's the same problem with the same answer. Grab a different pen again, sorry. Okay, so this one, actually I'm going to go ahead and grab that red pen again so I can show you. Add opposite, different directions, subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. I have more negatives, -2. Add opposite, I go left 9, left 13. So I'm basically just adding those 2 numbers, and I know it's negative because I went left and left. Same thing, add opposite, it's a -4, now it becomes a +4. So now it's just 15 plus 4, which is 19. Easy. Add opposite. Different directions, subtract 10 minus 7. You get 3, and you have more negatives, so it becomes a -3. So remember, add opposite. Again, you could pause it and try and do it. Add opposite, different directions, more negatives. It becomes -7. Guys, what is the range for Wyoming? So there's the temperatures recorded in selected states. What is the range for Wyoming? So here's Wyoming, and remember, range is the high minus the low, like that. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to add opposite and do 114 plus 66. And I get 180 as the range for Wyoming. There's another, what is the range for Washington? You're going to do the same thing. 118 minus -48. Go ahead and add opposite. You're just basically adding those 2 numbers. So you're evaluating the algebraic expression. So you're going to substitute, and then you're going to go add opposite and get 6. Again, substitute. This time, you're going to have negative 14 minus negative 2. Grabbing that red pen and go add opposite. You don't do anything to the first number. You don't do anything until you see subtraction. And then you change the subtraction sign to addition, and then the number next to it to the opposite of what it was. So it was negative, now it's positive. Different directions. You went left 14, then you turn around and came back to the right 2 units. Obviously, you're still in the negatives, and you're at negative 12. Plug in all of your numbers. There you are. I don't change this one, and I don't change addition. I like addition. I only change it when I see subtraction, and then I go add opposite, just like that. So then it's negative. You could put these together, and then, or you can just go negative 11 plus 6, different directions. You get negative 5. And then you bring down that positive 12, different directions. You went right more, so it's positive 7. Substitute, you can pause it right here and try these. So this one you add opposite. It's going to be negative 4 plus positive 6, which is 2. This one's going to be negative 9 minus negative 3. Remember, you're going to add opposite right there. Right here, add opposite like that. And you're going to end up with being left furthest. And there you go. And then this one's going to be negative 1 plus, sorry, it's going to be negative 1 minus negative 5 plus negative 4. So remember, you only change subtraction and the number directly next to it. I don't change this one. I go here and go, oop, don't like subtraction. Add opposite. And then you jump here and go, oh, it's addition. Leave it alone. So this becomes 4, and 4 plus negative 4 are additive inverses, and the whole thing becomes 0. Done. That's 2.3. Remember, add opposite when you're subtracting.